fighting this with such tenacity. And I am grateful that they are digging even deeper. I was just with them at Zuma earlier this afternoon, talking with them about their resilience, how they're doing, how they are finding the resolve within themselves to continue fighting these fires. And so the fact that once they heard the alarm, they went back out and got right back to work. I'm just grateful for them, and I hope that should it turn out to be arson, that they are held to the fullest extent possible accountable.
Of course, we're continuing to follow up on that information that we received about a potential arsonist. What so far, noting that this is absolutely unprecedented, the fact that we have multiple fires, we know that, of course, your district is the Palisades fire. You've been out there, were out front at these press conferences, you've been talking to your constituents. What's the big takeaway in moving forward? How do we move forward from here?
Well, we've seen in our district, we also have the Hearst fire. This Kenneth fire is also in our district. The Woodley fire was in our district. The Sunset fire last night was in our district. Even the structure in Studio City that went up last night is in our district. So our district has seen so much devastation in addition to the Palisades, and so I know people's hearts are broken, their spirits are weary, they are wondering what is next for them as they think about rebuilding. And when they think about what they've lost, these aren't just, as I've been saying, these aren't just structures that are numbered in a chart somewhere for us to track. These are people's homes where they raised families and built lives and built communities. And so the memories that they will take with them will be the balm to their hearts as they begin healing. But right now, we have to make sure that they have all of the tools necessary to keep going and to be able to rebuild. I know the insurance commissioner is working on that. Our county assessor also has put tools on his website to help people get going. And the FEMA administrator who came today from the Biden administration is providing amazing help. I spoke with the president today about even more help from his administration to address these impacts, and I just cannot thank him and all of his team enough for how quickly they are moving to invest in us on the ground to make sure we have the resources that we need. And the fact that the president was here yesterday and witnessed what was going on here firsthand, I know he takes it very seriously, and he called me this afternoon after his press conference to continue that conversation and continue his investment in us.
And an interesting and important note, because some people are going to be hearing that, they're going to say, well, that's great, but the president's out in about a week. What the president did today was he announced funding for 6 months from the federal government, which will stay in place regardless of the fact that there's going to be a new president. So even though basically making a long-term commitment to Los Angeles. So is anyone there? Supervisor, there are people watching this right now that lost their home, they may have lost their car, they lost everything, and they're wondering, what do I do now? And as we sort of move past some of the immediate crisis of this, and people are now just trying to think, like, where do I go? Who do I talk to? What government agency do I reach out to? Most people have never gone through something like this. What's your advice for them?
So I know wherever there are incorporated cities impacted by these fires, they will be the lead agencies on anything land use related. So if people are looking to next steps about how they see what's going on with their homes or how they rebuild their homes, they will go directly to their city leaders for that. And in the case of Topanga and the unincorporated areas, we at the county will be that lead entity. We've already been talking with our respective departments about how we prepare for when we reach that stage of going through each of these sites, understanding what the terrain is, documenting what we're seeing, so when we welcome people back, we're able to work with them very quickly for Woolsey. And so we've taken those lessons to heart, and we are putting them into action. If it's other things like cars, I know that there will be other incident reports from our law enforcement and other respective agencies. So for anyone who, as I said, is in the unincorporated areas, please contact my office. And I would say anyone who is looking for assistance with their homes and property, go to your city entities.
What did we get wrong in Woolsey, the 2018 fire that did so much devastation to your district, that we're now doing differently in 2025?
Well, I think one of the most complicated things that I heard from the Woolsey experience was there was lots of miscommunication and as a result, misinformation. People didn't know where to evacuate or how to directly evacuate. If they were following law enforcement communications outside of other entities and their communications, people were getting mixed messages. So the county has unified through our Office of Emergency Management our communication strategy. You can go to emergency.lacounty.gov, which is a clearinghouse website. All of the information from our state partners and respective city partners and departments throughout the county is all right there. And that was a critical tool. We also work to establish the Genesis system, and there are different precincts now in the county areas where people evacuate by zones, and we are able to alert them through that system. So we have used technology to help keep people informed, but also to help them safely evacuate at a time like this. And so those tools have been incredibly helpful. I know that there's also been a real-time watch center implemented by the Malibu Lost Hills Sheriff Station, which includes drone coverage of these areas, which has allowed our first responders to have a better insight and access and intelligence into what they're in terms of this very complicated terrain. So some of it is technology, some of it is communication, some of it is just living through it and taking those lessons learned and adopting best practices for rebuilding and all of that. So while I wasn't here at that time, I do know that when I came in, I wanted to learn those lessons immediately so we could start educating the community. And we've been doing emergency preparedness trainings to make sure that people were signed up for this various technology and getting these alerts, so at a time of crisis they were ready to go.
Supervisor Horvath, let me ask you about that, because you brought up the LA County Office of Emergency Services and the alert system. I'm sure you got the alert today that mistakenly went out. That caused a whole bunch of confusion, and we were just flooded in our newsroom and here on the set. Should I evacuate? And that just instilled more panic in people who are already under duress given the nature of all of these wildfires. What's your response to that?
Yeah, we got those communications too.